Hello, hello, hello! Welcome on to just outside of Austin, Texas. We are moments away from the qualifying quarter hour for round 11 of FRL Season 6. We are here at Circuit of the Americas for the American Grand Prix. Very excited to bring you a very fun, very uphill track. Though, my race control director here might disagree with liking this track. Allegedly. I'm just pulling your leg a little bit. I know you.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome on in. We are missing a couple drivers, notably both Red Bull drivers missing today, which is key because Corvix is here, and he is only 2 points behind our championship leader who's absent today, Lenny. So a huge, huge opportunity for Corvix to cement a very strong, unbeatable lead for the championship
This,
with
yeah,
only
this is an open goal.
2 rounds to go.
And,
Indeed, it is about as open as it can get in this sport.
and let's hope it doesn't turn into an own goal.
Indeed, though you never know. The end of the last Grand Prix, the French Grand Prix, you guys might remember
But
that Corvix did take it on track. There
of
was a pretty large penalty decision that was made with uh essentially Corvix did overtake Lenny off track. The FIA initially ruled it as, I believe, a warning, but then on appeal,
it
Corvix was
said
given.
converted it into a penalty.
Yep, Corvix was given a 5-second penalty, but no points on his license, which is key because I think he is pretty close to a quali ban. But Corvix now has a chance to get a 25-point swing in the championship. And at that point, there's only 2 races to go, and Corvix has been, like, Lenny has been the only one really able to keep up with him on pace today, throughout.
Just about. And we've already had a bit of drama before we even got to Corvix. There's a
Indeed.
Ferrari of Jinx already has a 5-place grid penalty
Oh.
for colliding with someone.
And he is missing a front wing end plate, too, right now. Looking at our first car to set a quali time right now, though, it is going to be Skyler in the Aston Martin. He is now winding his way through the S's section here. These are some very fast, ever-tightening S's. Very fun. That comes after an uphill braking zone. That is a very good overtaking opportunity for many drivers in turn 1. We then get a little flick on downhill into the DRS activation zone. Hard braking zone onto the back straight. And then this is our first DRS zone in the track. You get the other one at the pit straight. DRS flap opens up. You get all the way down here, and then you brake hard. It is not quite a 90-degree turn. And you get a little squiggly section leading into a nice double apex. You get a nice left-hander here, and then a long right-hander reminiscent of turn 8 at Istanbul. Double right-hander, this one uphill. Even a little bit of bank to it. This track does play around with elevation so much.
Yeah, I hear Herman Tilke actually molded the very earth around him to pen this track.
Indeed, indeed. And Skyler sets a benchmark at a 1:34.550. Expecting high 120s will be our provisional pole time. Notably, this track is very tricky for our controller drivers as well, of the way the S's are.
It's it's a track that prioritizes wheel than anything else.
Yeah. Well, yeah. With wheels, you just get a little bit more precision, and these S's are very precise. It's the same with Maggots and Beckett's, I would say. As Laz sets a 1:35.1, not quite able to find the pace. We do have John out in the Mercedes. Corvix is on an out lap in his McLaren. He's about to start his flying lap. You can see, comparing John and Skylar, just how much curb John's able to get through some of these corners.
I hear John's been struggling with the setup of his W14 after practice.
We'll see if he can manage it then. Throughout this race, sound can be quite important. Your drivers, it's kind of how you know partly when to shift. You just get a feel for the engine, you get a feel for where the bite point of the car is, where you need to go. Around 11,000 RPM is the key rev point, where you get the most torque out of the car. Jinx starting up his lap, and Leo's going to be on an out lap, but we got a couple drivers going to be setting times right now. John invalidates in Sector 3, and he's going right into the pit.
Just... oh...
That was a very good lap, but he just pushed a little bit too wide there. We got a Williams of Luck coming back in. That is a 1:33.565. Nice time, but not quite what he's able to do. Corvix goes fastest overall, 1:32.1. I think he's got a bit more in the tank than that, though. But that will be our benchmark for what a good time looks like around here, to 1:32s. Thought maybe we could get into the low or the high 120s, but I was wrong there. You admit when I am wrong.
Maybe the low 120s are a bit optimistic.
But 129, I was thinking we might see a 129, but no, we're gonna look a little bit at a 132. I might have been discounting.
Well, I meant low 120s, I meant to say. Sorry.
Wouldn't low 120s be like a 121? English is a funny language, isn't it? I'm seeing Lush just kind of on his in-lap rounding about. Let's look at Leo now. If there is anybody to challenge Corvix for the race win, it will be this German Dragon, former champion. Former race winner around here, I believe.
He is flying the flag for the German Silver Arrows.
Indeed, indeed. Corvix might be the hometown hero here, driving for a British outfit, but the American Dutch Angel Dragon, looking to cement a championship campaign here.
And make his American team boss proud.
Indeed. So much America here. I
this
feel
is
like
cowboy country.
Yeah, I feel like we need to get the 4Kids national anthem. Like, you've seen that one. Notice how there's a little bit of a dip before we get into this long right-hander at the apex of that tight left-hander, that hairpin. It's just, you can see physically how much the elevation of the banking goes to effect as Leo's a second slower. So, if you're Corvix, do you just not go out again? Do you just save the soft tire?
Though, no, knowing him, I'm fairly confident he's gonna set out and do a faster lap time just because he could.
Yeah. I think he's a driver with something to prove today after
Yeah.
what happened in France.
Plus, I know he's a driver who does things out of spite.
That
Spite is a
I
good
think we were
rule.
getting out at the same thing, but I said it a little kinder. Hey, Drake sent
Yeah.
a 133.2 just right behind Leo. You have to think that Leo has something more in that tank of his, that he has a 132 in there.
Yeah. And like John, I hear Adric was struggling with the car setup.
Yeah, car setup's key. Well, I mean, it does seem like Drake found a very good time. Interestingly enough, that Luck is here today because, we were talking about this being an open goal for Corvix, but the driver he is strapped with a lot throughout.
He made throw a wrench in things.
Indeed, Luck loves to stay out. Luck has enough pace that, like, the pit window usually puts Corvix behind him when he does pit. And these two have a bone to pick. They've gotten into tussles in Spain, especially. And it's where Corvix got a lot of penalty points, same with Vegas. Leo is on another flying lap, it looks like, so he did fuel up his car quite a bit.
John sets a 134.2.
Yeah, John not quite able to get a feel for the car, but he is putting it around where he should. At least in terms of relative positions. There are only 10 drivers out today, so as long as you get out there and don't crash, you'll be on for some good points today. I know Alpine, I know Aston Martin and Saubers. This is a good chance for Sauber too to make up some points in their battle lower down the table. And Jinx could also be on for some Formula 1 points today. If I am correct, he does not have any, and Leo pulls in. I thought he was on a flying lap. He looked like he was going quick, but I think he is just realizing how little time is left in the session. That might have been his intent, but then he decided to pull in. Could also just be using the extra fuel to get a bit of a recon lap in. Practice each corner one more time. Just get track time. Get the right feel for the car. He's got a lot of time to make up if he wants to fight for pole. John with another invalid lap, though it was his in lap, so not too much to really talk about there.
Folks, Kimaru, who sets a personal best second sector, but invalidates.
Indeed, so Kimaru out of position right now, and he's gonna have to go back into the pits right now. If he does, he does. Oh, and he nearly hits the wall. That car was pointed a little scarily.
Yeah, that would have given the Sauber mechanics a bit of a heart attack.
Indeed, you do not want a car on the pit entrance, too. pit entrance in real life anyway is red flaggable. I don't quite know how it will work in here. Hopefully, though, this race usually does bring out some nice overtakes and excitement. So hopefully we will get to see that. Luck going out on an out lap again, looking to make up some time. Maybe there's a little rust in his spirit, so he might be able to get by Drake. Get a little closer to the McLaren and the Mercedes ahead.
Probably get close to achieving a rather lofty personal goal of his.
Indeed.
I don't know what, but I'm not at liberty to pry.
Believe the speculation for the tabloids. It's a couple drivers now making their way out of the pits. One by one, it is going to be the Mercedes last out.
This is approaching the final 2 minutes.
Yeah. Leo is the last car out right now on track. He should be able to get out and around on time. Jinx is in the pits right now. He's probably done. His final time, 1:35.4. Which on the merits, after everything throughout this rookie campaign, is not bad. John's right on by Corvix. Corvix taking a very slow out lap. Aston Martin letting a couple cars by. John and Corvix just kind of tussling about. John wanting to remain behind the McLaren, both because he is faster, but also you team-wise, you don't want to give the McLaren here any toe. There's a little bit of a traffic jam at the back straight here, and Luck's gonna end up running into it if he's not careful. This is gonna get a little exciting in its own way. Is that random? Yeah, that's random now coming his way through. He's gonna catch up to this little train. He is also on an out lap. He's making his way through. But it is going to be McLaren, Mercedes, Mercedes as they cross the line very soon. They're very slow around. Are they going to be able to get back in time? How much time is left in the session right now? 20 seconds. They should be fine. They'll hopefully be fine. Yeah, they're all going to be fine. Alpine pulling away.
Meanwhile, Lux has a personal best Sector 2. Random has a 5-place grid penalty.
He collided with John? John's out. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. I didn't catch it. Luck, though, a 1:33 flat. What a time for the Hungarian.
Front row just ahead of his former teammate.
Indeed, provisionally a front row time, but Leo has to have some improvement right now. Not quite a toe along the back straight here that he was maybe hoping for. But Random and John, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fighting about this one after the race.
I'm fairly sure. And I don't think that 5-place grid drop would have any effect looking at that time.
No.
Kind of meaningless.
Yeah, for Random right now. John's fortunate to not get a penalty here. Through it. Corvix sets of 1:31.7. We'll see what Leo's got. 1:32.5. So he takes back the front row start from his former teammate. The Hungarian Husky down there. In third. followed by an Alpine in 4th. John not able to set a final time after an incident with the other Alpine down in 10th. Eventful qualifying 20 minutes. Even through everything. But getting yet another pole position onto his belt. Full of them, it's Corvix.
Pole position out in the cool Texas sunset.
Indeed, it is a beautiful backdrop. It does run into, you do get quite a bit of sun glare from the tarmac on the last turn. We'll see if that comes into play here, maybe on lap 1 when everybody's all bunched up. Kimaru did manage to set a time as well as a 1:34.4. He's going to be happy with that, but he is behind his teammate. Just barely beating out his, the Aston Martin of Skylar there, though. Your pole man, once again, is Corvix. Waiting for the session now to end, and then we'll have 2 minutes between now and the start of the formation lap. But so far, the open net and the striker gets a little closer to the ball. Corvix takes a pole position very comfortably ahead of Leo in 2nd, Luck in 3rd.
And look with penalties applied.
Yep. The grid penalties will not, it looks like, Random's total is 10. So,
Yeah.
grid penalties will not affect the actual starting order. I'm curious as to what happened back there. I was a little focused on our 2 front runners to see what happened between Random and John.
Now it's following Lux on board as well.
We have rain. We have rain. Didn't realize there was rain. This is interesting.
It's not very often that rains on at this part of Texas.
No, but the weather's been pretty mediocre in the US recently, so maybe a little bit's just coming to our little realm here right now. This does throw a spanner in the works of what we were talking about, especially. Corvix has been pretty good in wet conditions, though he did have the overtake off track, and that was partially due to wet conditions at France.
Wet conditions can catch out even the best of them.
Indeed, especially with a little bit of complacency creeping in. We do have a couple other things kicking in. No, Luck, I know, cannot do wet conditions very well. He would be the first one to tell you that. So maybe that whole idea with Luck having a fun time, Luck being ahead of Corvix in the pit window might not quite happen. We'll have to see how long the rain lasts, if it gets harder, if it gets drier. We do not have a weather report, unfortunately, unless you want to ping somebody for it in this little waiting period. It might be a good idea.
Drivers and their engineers get to have access. Radars, but not us up in the comm box.
No. We've had a lot of budget cuts after moving on in. We're not allowed a weather report anymore. The weather when we asked for one, Mr. EA just told us to look out the window.
Pretty much demand us to bugger off.
Yes, that. Yes. We did get the ready signal from race control here. So everybody's gonna be now lining up on the formation lap. First row, McLaren. Another one in his belt. It is Corvix, followed by the Mercedes of Leo. Williams leading off the second row with Luck, following A-Drake in the leading Alpine. John had an incident with the second Alpine. He starts on the third row.
But an Alpine spins out.
You already have a spin? Yeah, A-Drake has already spun. Luckily, it's the formation lap, so it doesn't really matter much right now. We do have a Sauber on the third row. Laz leading his teammate, who starts the fourth row. It's Kim. We then have Aston Martin behind. Our fifth row, last at the point. Jenks in the Ferrari, followed by Random in the Alpine, who had a bit of a tussle with John at the end of qualifying. They both had grid penalties, but they were both enough that they kind of canceled each other out, and they started as they came in quali. Looking at the tires, they are on slicks.
The choice designer one-stop strategy for me.
Slicks? Whoa.
Apparently that's what we're dealing with. It's wet, but not wet enough for inters.
Yeah, I know sometimes that there's that's a spinning Mercedes doing a pirouette. It was John. That explains why we're having so many spins. I think a lot of these drivers would prefer to be on inters right now. I know sometimes. So what happens here is this is a fun thing because F1 is a good game with no flaws whatsoever. This weather was registered as being good for slicks. So slicks were registered to be ideal tire. So in the race strategy screen, you are all given slicks. But, if you want to start on inters, you just cannot, because the game's like, well, the slick tire is the faster tire.
That's what the strategy insists on.
Yep. You cannot choose to start on either slicks or inters. You have to do one or the other. Couple drivers not quite parking it right. We are starting in 5 minutes time. And FRL's away in Coda. Corvix gets a good launch. Leo bogged down a little bit, but he's able to keep Luck behind. Luck also bogged down. We do have Kimaru and Skylar jostling as the Alpine gets by Luck. Luck ran wide. We're now going to go through the S's. The soft running Alpine doing very well right now, but we are mostly as we were. Luck did get dropped to 4th. A-Drake got by. But everyone else, it is as we were going now through the S's here. Looking further back. Skylar getting right up Kimaru. Laz a little slow, everybody taking it nice and easy, but the Alpine and Williams are side by side, and Williams went to the inside there, pushes the Alpine wide. That's gonna get looked at, I can tell you right now, but currently the Alpine and Williams are in a bit of a drag race. Luck holding the inside line, the Alpine on the outside of A-Drake. A-Drake's ahead, though.
Mercedes versus Renault.
Indeed, currently the power units right now, unbelievably, it was the Renault engine that gets the better in the straight line race, but they're fighting hard as they go on through. Meanwhile, we have Leo and Corvix only have a second from each other, but Corvix is able to find some pace here. There's yellow flags out. It was just a spin, I believe a Renault spun back there. These two in third and fourth, the battle for that last podium spot, very hard right now. Adrake's in the pits. Couple drivers in the pits right now. Are they going to be pitting onto wet tires? We will see. Yes, it is. They're pitting on the intermediates. Couple drivers wanting to take it safer. So that's Adric and Laz pitting onto the intermediates, but the rain is quite light. We'll see what they're able to do, though. This is a bit of a gamble of a strategy right now. Those two are now going to be a while back from the rest of the grid. A lot of the times are currently wrong right now on my timing screen, so if you are watching from my POV, please ignore. Corvix and Leo. Leo has straight line speed right now. Does have draft, and I do wonder if he does have a lower downforce setup. Which is unusual. I know Leo normally likes to run higher downforce, get pace in these corners, but maybe Corvix is just kind of betting on himself, optimizing his setup for the full track, not the straights. Adric gets past random already. His teammate letting him by. Corvix might have also just set up on a more wet-oriented setup, which could very well be the case, seeing that there is rain here. Looks like the rain has stopped, though, so the intermediate runners are going to have to get off of those intermediates again.
And DRS is switched on. So,
FRL is active. Well, there's still a drizzle, but it feels like the rain is stopping. I'm wondering if switching on the inters was the wrong call here. Very tricky conditions to start this race, though, but currently it's Corvix, Leo, Luck, John, then it's Kimaru, Skylar, Jinx, Adric, and Laz both went on to the intermediate tire. Adric actually getting by Jinx there in the Ferrari through the S's. So, like, the Inters do have some pace. It's just a question of if they have enough pace and if they have the pace long enough to justify putting them on with the first lap pit stop. Rain's still coming down, but it's very slight. Leo managing to catch up in that straight with the DRS. We'll see what these two are able to do. Luck, meanwhile, is keeping about 4 seconds right now from these two in front. John putting pressure on Luck. And there's Kimaru also putting pressure on John. There's a yellow flag, it's for Luck.
That's Luck.
Yep.
He's spun out.
Luck is
at
off.
the entry of the long right-hander.
He manages to rejoin safely, but he is behind the Aston Martin of Skylar, who has managed to keep it on track. Skylar's peeling into the pits right now. Interesting. Probably for Inters. But with how this rain has been, if you were going to pit for Inters, I feel like you should have done it lap 1.
Done it on... We're on the strategy options, as we have another spinner.
Well, remember, you can't start on the Inters if you start on... If the game's like, nope, time for slicks. This is... Else we would have seen probably more of a mix between slicks and Inters. Leo does have DRS, so he is going to be able to stay and, like, at least ensure that, you know, Corvix doesn't have a 3 win. Gonna have to work at least a tiny bit for it. Maru is putting a lot of pressure on John right now. A lot of pressure back there, and then we have a Williams. Luck having fun, but with all the people pitting, he's not actually lost much track position.
It's still sort of fight, but it's still in no man's land.
Yeah, he is just gonna have to put in laps. And I think trust that he is on the right tire. If Adric gets to him, not fight too hard. We'll see what's going on back there, though, as Jinx and Skylar are gonna be fighting momentarily.
Luck is peeling in.
Yeah, Luck peeling in. Is that gonna be for Inters as well? We will see. Car peels in, it's for Inters. So a lot of the grid putting on Inters. I'm wondering if that's the right call, because it's still drizzling, but it's just that, a drizzle.
Yeah.
Skylar able to get by Luck out of the pit from what is effectively an undercut.
Track is still greasy, it's still drizzling with DRS on. It's
Jinx has wing repairs going on, so he's gonna have a very slow stop. Yeah, there is DRS on. As you mentioned, that
which just makes it all the more confusing to me.
Yeah, this is a very confusing condition for these drivers right now. It's very much a level of feel, and I mean, if you feel like you're losing too much time by just all the incidents you have, all the spins and stuff, as Corvix does manage to break the DRS there, Leo, I think, had a moment. At least I think he's broken DRS, because it... No, he hasn't. That was just my timing screen betraying me, because I did see the DRS flap open and looking physically at the gap. Just don't trust my timing screen. That's just what I'm gonna say. Don't trust it.
Yeah. Me neither, since it's also on the fritz.
Yeah. Random pit to hard tires. What is that strategy called?
Alpine must be huffing some really good stuff.
Yeah, I think the Alpine is. He has been lapped by nearly the entire field right now. This is one of those, like, even if it's not optimal to pit on Inters at this point, it's probably faster for you. Pit on the Inters. Yeah, I'm not sure why the game's giving me a second gap, because it's very clearly more than a second, or under a second between Leo and Corvix. John and Kimaru having a bit of a tussle through Sector 2 right now. Normally the overtakes are attempted very close. You can see them wiggling, struggling for grip. But the DRS is still active, and usually DRS being deactivated is kind of... That's about a good figurehand for when the window for Inters begins. At least in F123, which is what we are racing on. The Sauber opens up its DRS flap. Gonna be looking to get by the Mercedes, but not enough there. John able to hold off the threat from Kimaru for now, but Kimaru's punching pretty much above his weight. I don't think he's ever been in the podium position right now. Luck sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on intermediate tires. Another wrench gets thrown into the puzzle, as it looks like right now the intermediates are competitive with the slicks, if not faster. Drizzle is still coming down, the track is greasy, but there is still DRS. Leo did not have DRS that time, so actually maybe it's accurate this time. Skylar has a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit violations, as currently the Sauber and Mercedes. Sauber to the inside. Kimaru out breaks John, but John has a little bit of pace right now going into Sector 2, but it's not... Sector 3, sorry, but it's not enough. Oh, but John's able to... He's looking to the inside. You normally don't see overtakes in that corner, but he has pace there. They are nose to tail right now as they go on through. John being able to study that rear wing of the Sauber. Not that it will give you much good, but he will at least know about the Italian flag right there, as Kimaru is currently holding 3rd place. He's on for a podium right now. John looking to fight back, though. Opening up to the inside, and he's through on DRS. Kimaru briefly holding a podium position right there, but the uphill left-hander proving to be too much of an overtaking opportunity for the Mercedes. The American, this is his home race as well. Whole lot of home races here. There are quite a few Americans here. It's also the home race of the Sauber in 4th. And it's the home race for Laz.
Also in the Sauber.
Yep, it is also the home race for Jinx, and I believe... No, Random.
Yeah. Jinx, yes.
Yes.
Random's Italian.
Yep, and I think Kimaru. Yeah, both Saubers. Cortex and John. And the Ferrari driver. All American. All having their home race. In this US Grand Prix.
Yep. You can definitely tell that the Italian-American crowd would definitely be supporting either Jinx or the Saubers in their Alfa Romeo guys.
Indeed. Right now, Leo does have DRS. He is very close to Corvix. There is something about these conditions that seems to have unlocked another one in the German right now. Though he's not quite able to find his way by. These two are going to be locked in a chess match the whole time. And the tire decision that they have to make coming up here is going to be very interesting.
So whoever blinks first.
Indeed. There's going to be a high risk, high reward, depending on especially when, if or when this rain clears up. But it's lasted long enough that Adrake and Laz are benefiting at least a little bit from it. Adrake especially benefiting from a switch onto Inters right now. Corvix and Leo fighting. Leo dives on into the inside, and he's through. Leo now leads the US Grand Prix as Corvix has a skid. Corvix skidding, trying to stay ahead, and that might break the DRS for a little bit here. Though Corvix is fast throughout these corners. He's fast throughout the 3rd sector. He should be able to get DRS right on back. But we'll see what he's able to do here. If Leo is faster on the straight line. He has more straight line speed. Will he have DRS? Ooh. Oh, it was tight. It was very tight here. I think he's got it, though. But it was very close. Yeah, he has it.
He's got it.
Will it be enough,
Just
though?
barely. With that distance, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah,
On the
not gonna be
pitch
able to
straight.
make a move at the turn 1 anyway. We'll see what they're able to do through the S's, though. Luck has a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit violations with Adrix in the pits.
Again.
Is this the switch to slicks? It is. It's a switch on the hard tires right now as the rain's very much letting up. It's still drizzling.
It's still a very confusing... what's the word? Describe this again?
It's very much... It's a weird crossover period. It's a...
Yeah, that's the word.
Yep. Corbix pulls off to the inside right now. Leo doesn't have much. It's a DRS pass. And now we are back to Corbix Leo, 1 and 2. John in third after a pitting Luck.
Two front runners just about to lap random.
They do. That's 2 down for random, I believe,
Yeah.
who is not having a great Grand Prix. John has a little bit of a skid fighting the Salver here. They are both currently as they were. John's able to hold on to this podium spot. He's been fighting for podiums hard. They've been hard to come by for the second Mercedes driver, but currently, this will be a good result for the Mercedes team right now, and this is a very good result for McLaren, looking to wrap up this driver's championship soon. We won't see it mathematically wrapped up for a while, but this will be a big 25-point swing if it works out this way. We'll see, though. Corbix was caught out a little bit earlier on. Currently, these two have been fighting very well, very hard, but very respectfully, but I think Corbix has found a new bit of pace. He's going to break the DRS, and we'll see if Leo's able to fight on back, but he could be at the end of the line for his ability to get right up to Corbix here. Adric does get by Skylar.
Laz is pit. Just exiting the pit lane. Rather.
Yep, and he is on medium tires. Interesting call, especially if you want to try to get to the end from there.
11 out of 28. How could one manage this?
It is 17 laps, to be fair. It is doable. So far, our front two have put together a clinical job here, but we have a fight now brewing on back here. It's John, the Salver of Kimaru, and Luck is about to get involved here after pitting onto Inters. He's made up quite a gap on those intermediate tires. He's had a lot of pace on him. Kimaru's peeling into the pits. What tire is he going to be pitting onto? Strange, because normally Kimaru does like to go long on his slicks. We'll see what he's got. It's another set of medium tires, so he has to pit again. I
did hear he was playing on a two-stop strategy. And most of the prevailing trend, well, in dry conditions, would have been a simple one-stop.
Yeah. Kimaru looking to do something a little different. We'll see if it pays off for the Sauber team right now, but he is locked into that two-stop no matter what right now. Leo has gotten back into DRS with Corbix, at least for now. We'll watch that up front, but it's Luck and John right now. John giving a big squeeze. Luck now forcing him to the outside. These two elbows out driving. John has a little bit of a run, but Luck is through on those intermediate tires. 27 seconds to Leo. Oh, but John's got some pace through these little windy S's here.
But John's gonna have to look at that
Yeah, Luck had
practice while
spun!
Lucksman's out. Oh. At the exact same corner he spun out before.
Indeed, the side-by-side fighting was a little too much for Luck. Little too much throttle in these wet conditions. He was offline.
And it looks like the track doesn't look as greasy as before.
Yeah, this should be a pit on the slicks right now. A lot of drivers going to be pitting on the slicks. Corvix and Leo managed to make it work. We'll see who pits first here. Luck pitting onto hard tires. Going to be going to the end. A lot of drivers going to be going to an end. Laz has a 3-second time penalty. Skylar's pit on the hard tires, so he will be going to the end. Most of these drivers should be going to the end. Luck getting by random there. But yeah, Luck was offline on a greasier part of the track. Not quite able to get the grip to fight John. He was fighting John a little too hard, really. John now 30 seconds behind his teammate. But currently, if Leo was hoping for a mistake in the wets from Corbix, that is not going to happen right now. Corbix now has about 15 laps to go on his open goal race. Neither of these drivers have pit yet, though. Neither has John. Those are the 3 drivers yet to pit. But Leo and Corbix should be in their own little race up here. I think momentarily you are going to see one of them pit. One of them has to pit at some point here. Either Leo's going to try the undercut and Corbix is going to have to cut it off. Oh yeah, Corbix is unleashing some pace right now. Or Leo's going to try to stay out as long as he can and get a tire advantage on the McLaren. Several 3-second time penalties have been dished out, and there is a yellow flag. Sector 2 is random was letting by a couple drivers. There's a Sauber and Aston Martin fighting here. Skyler might have DRS. He will have DRS. The flap opens up in the back there. And it's not going to be enough to make a move into turn 1. The Skyler
it's too far back.
Yeah. Skyler right now fighting Laz. Let's see how to get by through the S's. Laz is on controller. Is another factor to keep in mind as they can weave their way through these ever-tightening S's. Skyler will have DRS going into the back straight here. There's Adrake and John getting a little close. That is a battle that will happen fairly soon. And Corvix is gapping out Leo now.
2 seconds if the timing tower is to be believed.
Yeah, that does look about right. Skyler not close enough. Straight here. Looking at this fight between the Aston Martin and Sauber for P7. Very close. Skyler does have pace on these hard tires right now. Laz does have the medium tire. Lux pit again. To retire.
Yeah.
Luck decided to retire from the race early on. Fairly unfortunate, but...
Ooch. gives an extra position to Laz and Skylar.
Yeah, also we'll give it
Well,
to Random and Jinx.
Which means this is now a battle for 6th place.
Indeed. Here we go.
Yep, and Skylar's just almost trying to get right up close to that Ferrari supply gearbox.
Indeed,
With the
further
Sauber.
up, letting you know Drake has gotten by John, who is on ancient medium tires at this point.
15, 16 lap old mediums.
Yep. Skylar has a lot of pace. Laz cuts the inside line off from Skylar. Skylar forced to take the outside line. He goes for a switchback.
There's
Laz
switchback.
went in a little bit too hot. Laz just kind of
There's
bumps
contact.
into him. What was that? Laz does let off a little bit. I think he gave... that he had to have given the place. So overall, Skylar does get by, but that was a defense. Certainly one of the most defensive drives I have seen. Of all of them, it was one of them, and I am not too impressed by that, if I have to be a little bit blunt right there.
And I thought my defensive moves were bad.
Even more blunt than I am, I see. Both these drivers have time penalties as well, so they are on even footing. Skylar able to get on by. See if anything else is going to happen here, but Drake did manage to get by John. Leo's pitting. Leo is the one who decides.
And finally blinks.
So Corbex now has a choice here. Either he covers off the Mercedes, which he should have time for. Leo's on soft tires. Interesting. This is going to be a critical outlap. Hopefully his pit wall told him outlap critical.
Perhaps this is part of the plan.
Drake with the fastest lap, and the other Mercedes coming in the pit. We'll see what Corbex does. He will be able to see that Leo is on a soft.
So Mercedes pit wall puts on another pair of softs.
This outlap is going to be very critical to pull off the undercut right now.
Which leaves our race leader as the only man yet to pit.
Yeah, we'll see what he does if he wants to cover off Leo. Another key thing is that Corbex is about to run into traffic here. If he decides to stay out, he won't get DRS here. It might hold him up in the S's. If he decides to stay out. Which he does not. He's
he goes into
covering
pits
off.
instead.
He is covering off Leo, so Leo now has to put the pedal to the metal right now. Every second he has is going to be crucial here. He will not have DRS from the Ferrari here. Corbex also pitting on the soft tires. He will be able to come out right now. We'll see where he gets to.
Leo has a Ferrari to lap first.
Indeed, Corbex is behind the Ferrari, but crucially ahead of the Mercedes right now. Oh, but that Ferrari might hold him up enough to keep it interesting.
Which would mean that Leo is just a few hairs closer.
Indeed, he is going to be within DRS. That was the power of his switch to softs right now. Corbex is going to be looking to get these tires warmed up. Get as much power and traction out of this corner as he can. This is critical right now for the race. Leo has DRS. He's deploying what he has. We'll see what Corvix is able to do. Corvix goes defensive. Leo's on the outside. Leo is through with the Germans leading the US Grand Prix. Corvix, though, is going to have a chance to fight on back right as soon as we get to turn 1. We'll see what they're able to do right now. Leo's got critical corners here. The fast right-hander double apex. Corvix is just faster through these corners. Adrake has a time penalty. But Corvix right now is just plain faster, and he will have DRS. He should be able to get on by. Your Leo, you gotta go defensive here, but he does not go defensive.
They're just swapping positions on every DRS straight.
Dude. We have 10 to go here about. 9 to go, I should say. In the US Grand Prix. But Leo is currently behind Corvix. These two are fighting, and Corvix is pulling out a large gap. If you're Leo, you just gotta do your best to hold on behind Corvix right now and make your move at the right time, because you're not getting by on pure pace. And if you're Corvix, you gotta break that DRS. You gotta unleash that pace that he had toward the middle part of the first stint here. As soon as the track dry, he got so much pace out of that McLaren. And it looks like he's about to do it again. But we do have Random coming up.
Who is currently 3 whole minutes behind the Ferrari if Tommy Towers to be believed.
I'm seeing a minute 47 as Corvix gets by. He sent it a little bit to lap the Alpine as fast as possible, feeling that pressure. And there aren't any lap cars for a long while, so it's just going to be a straight-on battle of pace here. Between our two front runners, you can just see how much more nimble they are compared to that Alpine. They just look quicker right now. These two are pushing as hard as they can, getting the most out of their machinery right now. Looks like the McLaren's just a little too quick for Leo. Oh, this is a marginal DRS. Leo's used up all of his battery to stay, but he does not get it. And that might be check, done, and mate.
And perhaps Lazarus has a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Been a while since somebody had a mistake like that one, from what I can tell. Lad's not able to slow down enough.
For another pair of mediums.
Indeed, I think he should be okay, because he was on the intermediates earlier. But we will see. Leo does have DRS again. I think. No? Really?
His wing flaps open. I saw two lights on his wheel.
I didn't see a wing flap open, so I don't... Who knows what to trust? In the words of a certain master of mystical energies, your eyes deceive you. Do not trust them. So we are going to be casting the rest of this race with the Force. As I currently sense that Corvix has now given up the DRS to Leo, who is burning his battery to get into that DRS range. You can tell because of the blinking light there. He's just giving it everything he has. I don't know how this is got to feel, but there is a certain amount of desperation. I don't know. It might feel disheartened. Like, I know as a competitor sometimes, when I was in this kind of position, I was giving it my everything. My battery, my pace, my pressure. Braking as late as I can, hitting on the throttle as early as I can, and it's just not enough. And that's a gut-sinking feeling right now. And I'm wondering how much of that's gotta be felt right here as Korvik starts to streak away. Leo low on battery, desperately trying to hold on. Korvik's...
anything to even get close to the papaya machine.
Indeed, if he's going to make a move, it's gotta be on the last lap. But if he's going to make a move, he has to stay in DRS range. And he's not doing it right now.
Yeah.
The light's blinking even earlier this time. We'll see.
Kimaru's in the pits.
He's going on the soft tires, so his 2-stop is complete.
Back to the action now.
Yeah. That light in the Mercedes is blinking. I want to take a look at the telemetry. Corvix has a lot of battery left. He has so much battery left. Leo only has 14% right now. Pretty fit the telemetry.
So perhaps Corvix is being smart about his energy management.
Dude, he's saving up as much battery as he can, really. You can see how much Leo is deploying just to keep up.
Just burning the whole energy store.
Yeah,
just to even get close.
Yeah, I think he knows he has to manage that battery. Corvix just, he's not deploying it. He's got plenty. He's just going to deploy it probably all on one lap, break the DRS, and solidify that win right now. So, that's all he has to do.
If I didn't know any better, he's just toying the Merc.
I don't think he's that
if I didn't know any better.
Yeah. Indeed. That is an Alpine to the pits. It's random. Random changing up his tires. He's going on the
softs.
Gonna just try to see how fast of a lap time he can set right now. Leo's burnt everything he can.
Jeez. And all that and he still isn't close enough to even think about grabbing the McLaren's rain light.
Indeed. True testament, though, that he's not yet given up right now. He's fighting on. I know Leo does like to fight on as long as he has even a remote chance. He's gonna fight for it and cling for it. No, he needs a miracle if he's going to win this race right now.
He needs to pray that Corvix will score an own goal, or to have a sniff at race victory.
Using our analogy earlier, I suppose Corvix does have an open net, but Leo's just gotta hope that it's his own net. Corvix looking at a 25-point swing at the top of the table. Leo burning that battery to stay. All the while, Corvix saving up. Ooh, little skid. Corvix is still pushing.
Yeah, pushing, but that little kick of Overseer may just give Leo just this tiny shred of hope.
Indeed, Leo can see that he is pushing the American. He's not giving it on a silver platter. Not giving it for free.
Yeah.
Sun's coming out in Texas as we have 4 to go. Very soon. Very soon this race is winding down right now, and these two are fighting hard. But Corvix just has to not let the pressure get to him. He knows he has Leo. He essentially has Leo where he wants him. He has to know. Well, he can't quite know that Leo's out of battery. But he knows that he has a lot of his own battery. And he knows on the last lap he can just deploy it, and he will be relieved to see that Mercedes fall behind. But he just has to avoid a mistake. If he avoids a mistake here, he's good.
He has to not let the pressure get to him. As one championship, as his main championship rival said, Corvix sort of doesn't do well in the extreme pressure.
Indeed.
At least that's from his words.
Indeed. Currently, though, I would say the pressure cooker is not very on.
If Leo and the Mercedes is willing to prove us wrong.
Yeah, I am more than willing to be proved wrong here. But I'm just looking at everything we have right now. The battery's just not there. And Corvix is fast. Leo's main hope is that he gets by.
He balls it
here. Yeah. Well, like, here's the thing. Like, if Leo wants to win through an overtake, he needs to overtake on this straight on the last lap. And he currently just does not have the battery to do that. Oh my goodness, he even almost went a little wide in the corner. You can see how hard he's pushing. Both Mercedes-powered cars fighting hard. Corvix to get that to that apex. It's a little stiff there. Leo.
Same Mercedes engine, different gearboxes.
Indeed. They're rounding out. And we are going to be starting the penultimate lap. 2 to go in Austin here. Corvix might be starting to edge out that gap. Leo's giving it everything. Absolutely everything. It's not enough right now. It is. He's got to save battery this lap. And I think he knows it.
Which is a pretty daunting task.
Indeed. Yeah, he can't. He can't afford to with how much of a gap Corvix just pulled through the S's there.
Yeah, I'm seeing it as more of a lose-lose.
Indeed.
Burn battery, Corvix will
still be ahead. Dump it all on the last lap. Even if Leo doesn't know exactly how much, he has to know that Corvix has has more battery than he does. He can see that there's no blinking light, Alpine getting out of the way. Alpine on for a couple points today.
With the first time in a long while with an Alpine on the podium.
Indeed. We're beginning the final lap of the US Grand Prix. It was green flag running the whole way despite there being rain. Currently, Corbix has 0.8 of a second to Leo. And he's got to be thinking about deploying this battery he has stockpiled. Just set as fast of a lap as you can right now. You can see how he's driving too. Very nicely done as they wind on through the S's. He might just dump it on this straight coming up. We'll see. He's very careful on the throttle, making sure to not bottle it a little bit.
He's gaining.
He went a little defensive. Leo's on the outside. They're going to be side by side now as they go into sector 3. Leo's through. Corvix has got to deploy that battery right now. Does he just... Is he not deploying the battery on purpose? I don't know. He's got to deploy it because Leo is in the lead.
He's leading the...
Leo is leading the US Grand Prix. They're going to be side by side into the last line. Corvix has battery to deploy. Is he not using it? Here we go. Leo wins the Grand Prix. Corvix in second. What a finish.
Just a hair.
1/10 of a second separated these two. Adrian's going to be coming in third in half a second. Leo's through. Leo wins. He had to know. He had to know. I didn't enter my telemetry. It's wrong, and it was a lot closer than I thought, but there was no blinking light. That's usually the signal, but so, like, regardless, Corvix had battery to spare.
Yeah. Apparently, I can't even find the words.
What a finish! You said, we said it. We'll let the dragon prove us wrong, and the German does. Pending any investigation, Mercedes on top, McLaren. The home crowd has got to be stunned. As the American Championship leader, he is still going to be the championship leader after this. Laz is our last car, and he's round the finish line, but we are looking at our race winner. They dragged it out through Sector 3. It wasn't one and done on the DRS straight.
Which is crazy.
It was a very side-by-side fight. You will not see a finish like that every day. You will not see... What a race. What a driver.
Very rarely in F1 and league racing. You ever see a close finish this often.
Yep. Corvix gets an 18-point swing in the top of the table, though, and he is going to be our championship leader.
And I've been to 2 final races of our triple header.
Indeed, looking at the standings after, it is going to be what is 176? It's a 15. It's a 16-point gap after the swing. 17 actually, because Corvix did get the fastest lap point. Unlike real F1, we do award a fastest lap point. What a race.
Yeah. Or fast lap play under the old F1 system.
Yep. I think we do give it. Yep. Round 12's going to be up next. That will be at Suzuka on the 31st of May. It'll be quite a fight there. Overall, though, what a race. What a Grand Prix. Glad everybody here got to see it. Very well done from the Mercedes Dragon. Home crowd's gotta be stunned by that one. But anyway, we'll see you next Saturday, same time, same place. We will be in Japan next Saturday, where Lenny will probably be back and probably be looking to claw. He has 2 races to claw an 18-point gap. 19-point gap. 17. 17-point gap. I got there in the end.
If he does return, he better not disappoint the home crowd of Japan.
Oh, indeed. Honda power for the Hondas. What a race, though. What a Grand Prix. I've been Nexi. I've been joined in race control by Pridas. Polo, our FIA director, was also here for a little bit. I will see you guys then. Take care and good night.